Okay, enough talking about it, let's see how LSFG performs in motion. In these tests, I've got 30 FPS on the left, 60 on the right, and LSFG 30 times 2 in the middle. You can see artifacting in certain areas, like around HUD elements and the player, but it's not too bad when you aren't moving the camera around in circles. If I couldn't hit 60 FPS, I think the trade-off would be worth it. I would take a smooth 60 FPS with some artifacts over the judder of 30 FPS, especially on handhelds. Doubling 60 FPS to 120 delivers great results. Motion clarity is significantly improved, and artifacting is reduced to the point where it's barely noticeable during normal gameplay. Combined with lower input latency, there's really no downside, especially if your game's base frame rate struggles to reach the triple digits. But what if your system can't maintain 60 FPS? In that case, you can triple 40 FPS or even quadruple 30 FPS. These methods do work, but they introduce much more visible artifacting, particularly around the player model and disoccluded objects. The reason for this is simple. The lower the base frame rate, the more motion there is between each frame. Lossless scaling doesn't have access to depth buffers or motion vectors, so this makes frame generation increasingly difficult and artifact prone as you move from doubling to tripling or quadrupling lower frame rates. So here's the takeaway. Doubling 30 FPS to 60 works fine. Tripling 40 FPS to 120 is acceptable. But if you want to quadruple your frame rate, you'll need a stronger baseline for it to look clean. Something like going from 60 FPS to 240. A good rule of thumb is, the higher your base frame rate, the better your frame gen results will be. If you have a 144Hz monitor, then tripling 48 will be slightly better than tripling 40. And if you have a 165Hz monitor, tripling 55 FPS is even better. With all this testing and calculating what frame rate to double, triple, etc., maybe you'd prefer if there was an easier way. Well, with Lossless Scaling's latest update, we got exactly this with Adaptive Frame Gen. Set your mode to adaptive and your target to your monitor's refresh rate, and there you go. Smooth FPS regardless of what random FPS your game is hitting.